Testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, that's DHT, are vital for your reproductive system, body composition, strength, muscle and bone health as well. It has anabolic and anti-catabolic properties in muscle tissue. It can improve your strength, endurance, power, muscle mass, and fat loss as well. So by the end of this video, you'll have 6 scientifically proven methods to increase your testosterone levels. So make sure you watch this video until the end. This video will not be on any of the herbs like ashwagandha or tonka ali. I've done videos on them in the past. You can watch those by clicking the links in the description or wait until the end of this video. I do suggest watching this video until the end because I'm going to get into 6 different ways you can increase your testosterone naturally that are affordable and also easy to implement. They're basically dietary manipulations. I'll get into the exact methods shortly, but I just want to suggest getting a blood test before. Get a blood test, find out your current levels of testosterone. Then not only can you see how these impact you, you can also know if you need to make any changes. And you're gonna have the most benefit if your testosterone is on the lower end. You can either get a test at home kit like from Let's Get Checked, or you can do it with your local GP if they offer that service. Either or, I'm not sponsored by Let's Get Checked. It's just a great service to have. You deliver a pack to your house, you do a finger prick test, and you get the results back on your phone on an app, and you can take action accordingly. This whole video is actually based around a 2021 review that was done by Amit Zamir and colleagues. They looked at manipulating a diet and its effects on testosterone levels. Normal testosterone can be anywhere from 300 all the way up to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. You can have slightly over or you can have slightly under, but that's the range. So if you're on a lower end, more towards the 300 to 500, that's below average. Average is about 650 nanograms per deciliter. It depends on where you are in the world, but that's just roughly. So remember to look out for those numbers to compare it. It does actually come, I mean, if you get it done with Let's Get Checked, it shows you the range as well. So it shows you if you're out of the range. Remember, when you get your testosterone results back, if you choose to go down that path, there are 2 results: total testosterone and free testosterone. So free testosterone is what you want to be looking out for because that's the usable form of testosterone in your body. When testosterone is in your blood, it's bounded by usually 1 or 2 proteins. One is known as serum albumin and the other one's known as SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. You'll hear that talked about more often than not, but you want to be looking out for the free testosterone, the unbounded testosterone, so look at that number. Don't be in too much of a deficit. Low energy availability has been shown to lower testosterone levels. Low energy availability has been defined in athletes as less than 30 calories per kilogram of body weight per day. Even one particular study actually found that a deficit of 40% significantly lowered testosterone levels. So you want to make sure your calorie deficit is not too aggressive. So I actually recommend between 10 and, no, I would say between 15 and 25%. Maintain that deficit, not longer than you need to maintain it, but maintain it until you're at the desired weight. You can obviously fluctuate from going from a calorie deficit into maintenance and back and forth. Don't follow a low-fat diet. Fat is the key macronutrient when it comes to hormone production. Low-fat diets have been shown to reduce testosterone, and higher-fat diets have been shown to increase testosterone. That doesn't mean you eat all your calories from fat. It's been recommended that you consume at least 25% of your calories from fat to maintain optimal hormone production. I actually recommend using the range between 25% to 35%. That gives you a bit of leeway either way. If you prefer a more higher fat diet like myself, I go for about 30 to 35%, then you can go for that too. But just remember, carbs are your preferred fuel source, but fats are vital for hormone production. Vitamin D is a micronutrient, but it also acts like a pro-hormone. Vitamin D3 is the more bioavailable form of vitamin D, and it's what's synthesized on your skin in the sun. There are countless benefits for vitamin D, but I'm not going to get into those in this video. We're mainly looking at testosterone. In studies, men with low levels of vitamin D3 have been shown to have low levels of testosterone. People with higher levels of vitamin D3 have been shown to have higher levels of testosterone. In the literature, it's recommended that you have an intake of around 5,000 international units, that's IU, of vitamin D3 a day. Some people may need higher, but it's only if it's recommended by a GP or by a dietitian specifically for some vitamin D deficiency. But remember to take vitamin D3 with K2 if you don't get enough K2 in your diet. If you're eating, let's say, 3 servings of dairy, you should be getting sufficient amounts of K2. This will not only improve the absorption, it will prevent any adverse effects from supplementing with D3. Yes, I am recommending a supplement. This is not something you can particularly get out of food, and it's definitely not the active form you can get out of food, the more bioavailable form. You can get vitamin D in mushrooms, but it's just not the same as D3. So I do actually recommend supplementing on it. And to be honest, it's very, very inexpensive. More research is needed to really clarify whether or how much it impacts testosterone, but this is something that's so inexpensive, I recommend taking daily. Zinc is known for its immune support and anti-inflammatory benefits within the body. Zinc helps the conversion of testosterone to DHT, the more powerful form of testosterone. Low zinc levels have been associated with lower testosterone levels, and vegetarian and vegans are more susceptible to zinc deficiencies. Zinc's one of those things, like most of what I'm discussing, if you have a deficiency, taking it is really important. You'll see the most benefits from actually taking it. You can get zinc from foods like oysters. Well, oysters are the highest in zinc, and red meat. The recommended dose is 14 to 40 milligrams per day, and you can use a supplement if you're not confident you're eating enough zinc through your diet, or let's say if you get a blood test and it comes back that you're zinc deficient. When it comes to a supplement, I wouldn't bother wasting your money on something super expensive. Zinc citrate was actually shown in a 2014 paper to be just as absorbable as the more expensive forms of zinc. Magnesium is the most abundant mineral in the body. It's involved in many biological processes, including protein synthesis and energy production. It's been shown to increase total testosterone and free testosterone levels. It's also been shown to potentially bind to SHBG, increasing its ability to be used. The mechanisms that cause this are not fully understood, but the researchers speculate that it could be down to its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory effects in the body. Recommended daily allowance is about 400 to 420 milligrams per day, and you can get that from food. Some foods that are really high in magnesium are tuna, beans, avocados, almonds, squash, dark chocolate. All these contain quite a significant amount of magnesium. So if you were to consume like a varied diet, including these weekly, daily even, then you're going to probably get sufficient magnesium. But if you feel like you might be at risk of a deficiency, or you've got a blood test back and you have a deficiency of magnesium, you can supplement on magnesium. Or if you just want to make sure that you're getting enough magnesium, you can supplement on it. There's no adverse effect. Unless you go for a cheaper brand like oxide or citrate, then you might experience some gastrointestinal discomfort. So I recommend actually going for a threonate or a biglycinate, or if you want to spend a bit less money, because it can be relatively expensive, you can go for a malate as well. Boron has been shown in some studies to actually decrease SHBG levels and thus increasing free testosterone. Other studies have shown no effect, so more research is needed. This is probably the least researched thing I've talked about in this whole video, but it could be promising, especially if your SHBG levels are really high and you want to bring them down. So you've got a blood test, you could give this a shot, give this a try. It's very, very inexpensive. And some food sources include avocados, raisins, peaches, apples, milk, beans, potatoes, and some legumes. But if you want to make sure you're getting enough, you can supplement on it. A specific study actually showed that 11.2 milligrams per day is an effective dose of boron. You can buy it in the 3 milligram, well, it mostly comes in 3 milligram capsules, so you can use like what, 4 of those, and just give that a shot. It's safe all the way up to, I think it's 20 milligrams. Just one thing I want to add, there is not really that much evidence on anything in this video. There's some evidence for sure, some studies showing their positive effects on testosterone levels, but it's more in a deficient state. So if you have a deficiency, you'll benefit the most out of everything I've said in this video. And if you have a deficiency, you're probably more likely to have lower testosterone. So it's worth trying. Well, I would say all of them, apart from the more expensive forms of magnesium, are very cheap. A lot of it you can get through diet. I guess if you eat oysters often, you can get enough zinc, but I personally don't really like oysters. I just wanted to say that just to make sure that you don't think that, you know, any of these are going to make a miraculous impact. They're going to have an impact. If your testosterone's on the lower end, they'll have more of an impact. If it's on a mid to higher end, unlikely unless you've got a specific deficiency, and that deficiency is quite high. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, click that thumbs up button and share this video with a friend. You also comment below with any questions. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, click that subscribe button below, turn on those bell notifications to get alerted as soon as I post a video. And if you want to build muscle and lose fat, head over to Facebook, join my free Facebook group. It's full of like-minded men. I'm building a community out of people that want to build muscle. It's got lots of exclusive content. So head on over there if you are interested. And until the next video, keep pushing those limits.